Hello, welcome to another Storytime Quickies of the Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. Today, you are up for a treat. We're doing a double feature tale. We are doing tale number 43 and 44 tonight because they're fairly short stories, so we're going to be getting through them fairly quickly. Before we start, I'd like to say, if you're watching from YouTube, please hit the like, subscribe down below, and leave a comment. It helps out with the algorithms. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your support. After the video, there should be a playlist that pops up somewhere down here. It's going to send you to the playlist that has all the Storytime Quickies. There's over 40 stories that we've done so far, so make sure you check that out. There's some pretty big stories like the Little Red and the Wolf and Cinderella that we've already covered, and we talk a little bit in depth about their similarities to Disney films and other stories within the Grimm's Complete Fairy Tales. Oh, I gotta breathe. Okay, so let's get into tonight's tale. Okay, today you grab your blankies. Grab your snackies, get comfy, because it's time for a quick story. Tale number 43. Frau, Trude. There was once a little girl who was obstinate and inquisitive, and when her parents told her to do anything, she did not obey them. So how could she fare well? One day, she said to her parents, "I have heard so much of Frau Trude. I will go to her some day. People say that everything about her does look so strange, and that there are such odd things in her house, that I have become quite curious." Her parents absolutely forbade her, and said, "Frau Trude is a bad woman who does wicked things, and if you go to her, you are no longer our child." But the maiden did not let herself be stopped by her parents' prohibition, and still went to Frau Trude. And when she got to her, Frau Trude said, "Why are you so pale?" "Ah," she replied, and her whole body trembled, "I have been so terrified at what I have seen." "What have you seen?" "I saw a black man on your steps." "That was a collier." "Then I saw a green man." "That was a hunter." "After that, I saw a blood-red man." "That was a butcher." "Ah, Frau Trude, I was terrified. I looked through the window and saw not you, but I was verily believe the devil himself with a head of fire." "Oho," said she, "then you have seen the witch in her proper costume. I have been waiting for you and wanting you a long time already. You shall give me some light." Then she changed the girl into a block of wood and threw it into the fire. And when it was in full blaze, she sat down close to it and warmed herself by it and said, "That shines bright for once." Interesting. Interesting. There's a lot of similarities with this tale and the Godfather from last time, right? A lot of similarities. There's the basically the Godfather, a guy is going into this other guy's house that he made Godfather, and he discovers that that guy's the devil. But nothing happens to him in that tale. In this one, the girl is turned into a piece of wood and literally punished for disobeying her parents. It's so odd. Very, very different though. So that concludes tale 43, Frau Trude. Tale number 44, Godfather Death. A poor man had 12 children and was forced to work night and day to provide them even with bread. When therefore the 13th came into the world, he knew not what to do in his trouble, but ran out into the great highway, and resolved to ask the first person whom he met to be godfather. The first to meet him was the good God who already knew what troubled him, and said to him, "Poor man, I pity you. I will hold your child at its christening, and will take charge of it, and make it happy on earth." The man said, "Who are you?" "I am God." "Then I do not desire to have you for a godfather," said the man. "You give to the rich, and leave the poor to hunger." Thus spoke the man, for he did not know how wisely God apportions riches and poverty. He turned therefore away from the Lord and went farther. Then the devil came to him and said, "What do you seek? If you will take me as a godfather for your child, I will give him gold in plenty, all the joys of the world as well." The man asked, "Who are you?" "I am the devil." "Then I do not desire to have you for godfather," said the man. "You deceive men and lead them astray." He went onwards, and then came Death, riding up to him with withered legs, and said, "Take me as godfather." The man asked, "Who are you?" "I am Death, and I make all equal." Then said the man, "You are the right one. You take the rich as well as the poor. Without distinction, you shall be godfather." Death answered, "I will make your child rich and famous, for he who has me for a friend can lack nothing." The man said, "Next Sunday is the christening. Be there at the right time." Death appeared, as he had promised, and stood godfather quite in the usual way. When the boy had grown up, his godfather one day appeared and bade him go with him. He led him forth into the forest, and showed him an herb which grew there, and said, "Now you shall receive your godfather's present. I make you a celebrated physician. When you are called to a patient, I will always appear to you. If I stand by the head of a sick man, you may say with confidence that you will make him well again. And if you give him this herb, he will recover. But if I stand by the patient's feet, he is mine. And you may say that all remedies are in vain, and that no physician in the world could save him. But beware of using the herb against my will, or it might fare badly for you." It was not long before the youth was the most famous physician in the whole world. People said of him, he had only to look at the patient, and he knew his condition at once, and if he would recover or must die. From far and wide people came to him, sent for him when they had anyone ill, and gave him so much money that he soon became a rich man. Now it so happened that the king became ill, and the physician was summoned, and was to say if recovery was possible. But when he came to the bed, Death was standing by the feet of the sick man, and the herb did not grow which could save him. "If I could but cheat Death for once," thought the physician, "he is sure to be angry if I do. But as I am his godson, he may shut one eye. I will risk it." He therefore took up the sick man and laid him the other way, so that now Death was standing by his head. Then he gave the king some of the herb, and he recovered and grew healthy again. But Death came to the physician, looking very black and angry, threatened him with his finger, and said, "You have overreached me. This time I will pardon it, as you are my godson. But if you venture it again, it will cost you your neck, for I will take you away with me." Soon afterwards, the king's daughter fell ill into a severe illness. She was his only child, and he wept day and night. so that he began to lose the sight of his eyes, and he made it known that whoever rescued her from death should be her husband and inherit the crown. When the physician came to the sick girl's bed, he saw death by her feet. He ought to have remembered the warning given by his godfather, but he was so infatuated by the great beauty of the king's daughter and the happiness of becoming her husband that he flung all thought to the winds. He did not see that death was casting angry glances on him, that he was raising his hand in the air and threatening him with his withered fist. He raised up the sick girl and placed her head where her feet had lain. Then he gave her some of the herb, and instantly her cheeks flushed red, and life stirred afresh in her. When Death saw that for a second time he had defrauded his own property, he walked up to the physician with long strides and said, "All is over for you, and now a lot falls on you," and seized him so firmly with his ice cold hand that he could not resist, and led him into a cave below the earth. There he saw how thousands and thousands of candles were burning in countless rows, some large, others half sized, others small. Every instant some were extinguished, and others again burnt up, so that the flames seemed to leap here and there in perpetual change. "See," said Death, "these are the lights of men's lives. The large ones belong to children, the half-sized ones to married people in their prime. The little ones belong to old people, but children and young folks likewise have often only a tiny candle." "Show me the light of my life," said the physician, and he thought that it would be very tall. Death pointed to a little end which was just threatening to go out, and said, "Look, it is there." "Ah, dear godfather," said the horrified physician, "light a new one for me. Do it for love of me, that I may enjoy my life, be king, and the husband of the king's beautiful daughter." "I cannot," answered Death. "One must go out before a new one is light. Then place the old one on a new one that will go on burning when the old one has come to an end," pleaded the physician. Death behaved as if he were going to fulfill his wish, and took hold of a tall new candle. But as he desired revenge, he purposely made a mistake in fixing it, and the little piece fell down and was extinguished. Immediately the physician fell on the ground, and now he himself was in the hands of Death. And that ends tale number 44, Godfather Death. What a great story, right? I mean, it's a terrifying tale. It's a terrifying tale, but it's full of sacrifice, which is very, very good. The first sacrifice he makes is very selfish indeed. He saves the king. But the second one is that of him doing it out of love, which is quite different, you know? Uh and it's so fucking good because at the beginning of this tale, it's very powerful. You meet God, who this man is literally saying is very one-sided for making the rich richer and the poor poorer. And then he meets the devil, who's always who says that he is always tricking people uh or deceiving them in some way or another. And then death being this man that he states, "You are the right one. You take the rich as well as the poor without distinction." And that's such a powerful line compared to the two. It's really good because this is the first time in the Grimm's that death is really mentioned in that manner. I don't think death really is mentioned at all up until this point, really. Very, very, very good. That ends tonight's story time quickie, though. You guys got a double tail, all right? You had 33, 43, and 44. For tomorrow's tale, we're going to be doing tale 45. Thumbling's Travels. So look forward to that. We'll get back into that tomorrow. If you're watching from YouTube, again, there should be a playlist that pops up right over here. You can go check out more of the Storytime Quickies playlist down in this little box down here. Go check it out, please. You could go follow my channel over here. Also, make sure you subscribe or whatever that is on YouTube. Do that good stuff. And if you don't do it for me, make sure you do it for your favorite creators out there. Go subscribe, gift, all that good stuff, okay? Go support your favorites. Thank you. What else? Oh, yes. Go check that out. Bleep, bleep, bleep. That's the end of the recording. I will see you guys for the next Storytime Quickie. Bye! Boop, 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 beep, boop, bop. Boop.